Good morning, everyone. Here's your Mormon news update for September 1st, 2025. Today we are going to start off by talking about something I heard about for the first time this week. It's called a ward huddle. We're going to dive into a training video about ward huddles. But first, let's look at the information that this training video gives about the huddle. Who has the primary responsibility for effective and successful ward huddles? The bishop and the elders quorum president. Together, your voice of clarity, leadership, and expectations is the number one factor for successful and powerful huddles. This will not work without your leadership. This is perhaps the most important point of this video training. While counselors and the ward mission leader and others play a vital role, if huddles are not working, it falls on the bishop and elders quorum president to see this gets turned around with weekly huddles and that each person in the huddle is well trained and prepared. Who should be in attendance at huddles? Elders quorum counselor over missionary work, the Relief Society counselor over missionary work, the ward mission leader. The ward mission leader normally facilitates this meeting. The full-time missionaries, young men first assistant, young women 16 to 18 leader, ward missionaries as you have them. If this person cannot be in attendance, it is the responsibility of this person and their respective adult presidencies to ensure someone is in attendance and well prepared. Success factors for effective huddles. Consistent, brief, and informal. Weekly 10 to 15 minutes maximum. Prayer is not required, not a doctrinal or philosophical meeting. Ideal in person, but can be done by Zoom. Everyone in attendance or proxy, prior slide, especially engage our youth. Action oriented to people. Everyone to come with a name or meaningful action every week. Inspired preparation supported by adult presidencies and ward council members. See list below. And then there is a list of people who they like to target at these meetings. Part member families, new move-ins, unbaptized youth, less active people, new converts, and prospective elders. Success factors for effective huddles. Actions captured, but follow-up of actions is done outside of the huddle. A weekly text or email of all actions should be sent to all members of the huddle and ward council. Huddle members update text, email as progress is made. Regular training to huddle members, presidencies, and ward council as turnover is high in these roles. Now that we have some basic information, let's watch a training video from a ward huddle. The video was originally 16 minutes long, and I have shortened it down to a more digestible length by taking out times they trip over their words, have long pauses, or repeat themselves. I also removed any time they said a specific name because this is a video of a real ward huddle and they actually named real people in the training video.
I'm a counselor in the Texas Austin Mission Presidency to President Carter, and I'm very excited that you're with us today. We're hoping to show an example of what an ideal ward huddle looks like.
I am wondering if this is replacing a regular ward council meeting. Everything in the church seems to be getting shorter. Church was 3 hours, now it's 2, and now they have these ward huddles that are not supposed to be longer than 15 minutes.
We have over 75,000 missionaries throughout the world. There's a lot of ways to help them, and they need our help. But one of these ways is to hold an effective weekly ward huddle. This huddle is really just a simple, effective tool to help move the work along. To begin today, I'd like to introduce our ward huddle and the members of who should be in this huddle. Our elders quorum representative, our sister missionaries, our young women's leader and young men's leader representing our Relief Society, and is a wonderful Relief Society president for us here in our states. And then we have also our full-time elders and our ward mission leader.
Thank you so much for attending the ward huddle today. When it's fully attended, that's how we get the most out of this. Just a reminder, we will keep this short, no longer than 15 minutes. And as always, we'll keep it focused on actionable items that we can progress through the week, and then we can reconvene next week and do it again.
I also noticed that they are all standing, probably another tactic to keep the meeting short.
First of all, this huddle should be no more than 15 minutes. So that was a great call out. In fact, 10 minutes would be a perfect meeting. It is an action-oriented meeting, so it's not a doctrinal meeting. It's not a philosophical meeting. It is really where everyone in the huddle should come already prepared with a name and with an action. Anyone can give an action and anyone can take an action in this meeting. It's important that all of you are here. We're really trying to also emphasize our youth. you might be the most effective missionaries that we have. Consistent weekly huddles with inspired preparation and action-oriented. The other thing that did really well, he's not taking notes of the meeting, he's taking actions and he'll send it out to a group text. But we found over the last 3 years that text or email is really important. You don't have time to cover actions in this meeting. So that's done through the text and follow-up during the week.
I guess this has been going on for 3 years. I have honestly never heard of it until now. It doesn't surprise me that they are putting a focus on involving the youth. It makes sense in a cult-like environment to get youth involved as soon as possible because it leverages key vulnerabilities and developmental needs that are more pronounced in youth. Getting them involved early is a strategic move to build loyalty and dependency before they have the life experience to question the church's demands.
All right, so jumping in, elders, why don't we start with y'all? Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, so we were just teaching the family. We just had our first lesson with them, and we're going to be coming back this Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Brother, we were wondering if you could reach out to the family and ask if they could come to us. We think they'd be really good because they're kind of a younger family, so we'd love to have them there.
Yeah, I think that would work great. I'd be happy to.
And as well, we realized that they had a daughter named, and so she's actually your age, which we'd love to have you as well for that as well.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
When I was a Relief Society president, I used to sit in meetings and have conversations like this, but watching it now made me feel gross, and it took me a bit to deconstruct why. Basically, friendship was being used as a tool rather than being an end in itself. Instead of allowing a genuine connection to form naturally, the missionaries and bishop are orchestrating it. The interaction is no longer about two people connecting. It's a calculated strategy to achieve a specific outcome. Conversion.
I notated that. Thank you. Sisters, y'all have anything for us?
Yeah, we actually have some really exciting news. Our friend, we actually just put her on date for baptism in about 3 weeks. And
Awesome.
So it's super exciting. Sister has joined us for all these lessons so far, and she's just doing so awesome. She's progressing very well.
And Sister, wondering if you would be able to work with your presidency to assign ministry sisters for this next week.
Yeah, well, we will pray about it and look at how it all fits together. But
Okay.
that's so exciting. Yeah, let us know if there's other things we can do to help with your baptism service. And
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
This interaction with the sisters felt very similar, especially when the Relief Society president was asked to assign ministering sisters to this potential convert. Again, friendship is being used as a tool to convert.
My last presidency meeting, we were praying about a name, and we went to the temple, and the family that we've been thinking about for you to visit is a family. I don't know if you've met them, but they're really friendly, but they haven't come out for probably a good year. But we want to see where they are, and there's some invitations that we feel prompted to give them, but I'd love to have your help, so we could go together.
Yeah, we'd
in the
love
coming
to.
year or
Yeah.
two. So, okay.
I noticed that the Relief Society president said they are really friendly, but when someone gives a compliment and then immediately follows it with but, they are essentially negating the compliment. The word but functions as a pivot, and everything said before it is dismissed in favor of what comes next. She followed her but by pointing out that the person or persons haven't come to church for a year, implying that their friendliness is only valuable if it is accompanied by active church attendance.
Great.
Perfect.
Brother, I don't know, elders, if you had noticed, he has been at church the last 2 weeks. This is something that hasn't come for a couple of years.
Okay.
So he's actually a return missionary. He's super friendly when you get to talk to him. If you could drop by sometime this week and pay him a visit, he'll warm up really fast if you start talking about what you're doing as missionaries. He loved his mission and somehow went inactive after it. Get him talking about mission stories and he'll warm up. Getting a hold of him, try calling him. If he doesn't respond, he's a great text message person.
Okay, sounds good. Do you know if he has any ministering brothers or anything like that?
They're ministering brothers. I'm not sure how often they're able to see him. I'll let them know you're dropping by. And also, if you could message them that you're trying to get a hold of them, that might spur some action on their part also. That'd be great.
Awesome, perfect.
This is exactly how we talked about people in every ward council meeting I ever went to. It all focused on whether or not they were showing up at church and what tactics we could use to get them there.
I want to step in there because sister and brother did something really important and really effective. First of all, what Sister did was talk about that with her presidency, they've been praying over a family, and they even have gone to the temple and have felt an inspiration in some way for the missionaries to go by and visit them. This is what we call a ward council referral. This is actually the most effective referral in the church. We don't get them very often, but when we do get them under that inspiration, they're highly effective and lead to the most baptism.
That's an interesting statement. I wonder if they have stats and numbers to back that up, or if he just feels that way.
The second thing I want to call out was Brother is that he brought up somebody who's just come back to church or less active. Last year in the Texas Austin Mission, we put heavy emphasis on visiting with less actives. They're actually probably as high a producing group for referrals to the missionaries as any group we have. So great job, and thank you for doing that.
When he says they are a high producing group, gross. That language dehumanizes people by framing them as commodities or resources. The phrase high producing group is a term for business or manufacturing and should not be used in a spiritual or pastoral context like he used it.
Anything from the young men?
Yeah, I actually have an assignment for the elders. My boy in our ward, he was called to talk in sacrament meeting this Sunday, and I was wondering if you could go stop by their house and give him some study tips and maybe like see if he could invite friends somehow.
We could definitely do that, yeah.
How about Amy from the young women? Anything?
Yeah, so last activity on Wednesday was there, and she used to be active, but then they went inactive. And yeah, so I wanted to like stop by her house and say hi to her and see how she's doing and see if she would want to come to church on Sunday. And would you guys want to come with me?
Yeah, we totally can. Yeah. What day are you thinking? That should work.
This is a really good example of how Mormons use love bombing to get people to either attend church for the first time or to come back to church. Love bombing is an attempt to influence or manipulate a person by overwhelming them with displays of affection, attention, or flattery. This scenario fits the pattern because the attention is not a simple organic friendship. It's a strategic, coordinated effort by three individuals with a clear, specific goal: to get a person to return to church. The affection and attention are being deployed as a tactic to achieve a desired outcome, rather than simply as an expression of unconditional care.
As I've been talking with the missionaries, one of the things that they're trying to do is get into every member's home. Sometimes it's easier said than done. I have actually talked with the family. They haven't been as receptive, but our kids play with their kids. And I've talked to them about the message y'all have about love, share, and invite for the members to then, spur some action when they talk to their friends. It's a great lesson. We had it in our own house. They should be ready. If you can reach out to them, they are aware this is coming. I think you'll have a great time with them.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll reach out to them and we'll stop by or try calling.
Anything comes up, let me know.
If you want to delve into this line of thinking even more, there's a great episode of Radio Free Mormon, episode 79, called Why Are Mormons So Fake? I would suggest giving it a listen.
This has been a great Ward Huddle. Is there anything else anyone has?
I guess speaking of love, share, and invite, we thought pass-alongs could just hand those out.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I see you got a Book of Mormon there. Do you think I could use that?
Oh, for sure. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brother, were you going to say something?
Yeah, actually, so I just want to give this group a heads up. There is going to be a ward social in about 5 weeks. As we get details out, we're going to want to think about friends to invite and how we get the word out and now to hear some specific people.
Okay.
So next week I'll have more details.
Really excited. We have like a broadcast coming up. It's a worldwide broadcast, so it'll help any of the friends that you're teaching. You'll see what this ladies' organization is, or women's organization, and we'd love to invite them. And so if you think of people that you want to invite, or let me know. And
totally, we'll try and get there. We can try and get her there.
Yeah.
And we have a few other friends that we've been meeting with that we can try and get.
I'd love to meet her. Okay.
Yeah.
People we can try and get. The Mormons, they are trying to get you.
We have some great action items this week. I've notated them. I'll send them out as kind of a summary. And then as they happen, as you complete them, send the text, update us, and then we can reconvene next week.
Thank you so much. That was just awesome, and I felt the spirit of this huddle today. A couple of things I'd like to highlight as we close out. It's a brief and informal meeting, no more than 10 to 15 minutes. The action item list that you're going to send out, it should go to every person in this huddle, but also include your bishop, your elders quorum president, Relief Society president, young men and young women's president, because they need to know about these actions, and that will also act as a catalyst for the needed preparation to come to the next meeting with another name or another action. To the elders quorum, Mormon to the Relief Society, there are 5 key lists. They're really important to know that you should really kind of have at your fingertips. Part members, new move-ins, unbaptized youth, new converts, and prospective elders. They are a source of potential inspiration and revelation for you. And one final point is that as good as y'all were, it won't take long, and we're going to have whole new missionaries in here, and probably another whole new sister or Relief Society president or Elders Quorum president or new young men, young women leaders. So constant training has to be the theme.
Did you notice the list he gave of people who they focus on? I listed it at the beginning, but it's part member families, new move-ins, unbaptized youth, less active people, new converts, and prospective elders. Those are the people that are most vulnerable to their tactics. Have you participated in a meeting like this? How do you feel watching one now? Now let's go to some news out of Provo, where on August 27th around 10 p.m. in Provo, Utah, a heavy thunderstorm triggered a mudslide off what seems to be the Buckley Draw fire burn scar in South Provo. I saw this news on Instagram. Some locals are telling me it could have been from a construction site in the area. You can see in the pictures that the slide took out a car and piled halfway up the side of a church building. Radar indicated rain totals over 1 inch over the mountain top. Provo City had road closures up at Nevada Avenue and Slate Canyon. Here are some more pictures of the mud inside the church building in Provo. I'm not exactly sure why, but it was sort of fun for me to see the inside of a Mormon church building that looked like it was covered in something brown and sloppy. Now let's go to the church news for some quick updates on the Salt Lake Temple renovation. It says the Holiness to the Lord panel on the Salt Lake Temple has been restored. The technical process was to clean the plaque because it had been destroyed by the weather, said Ann Dominic, an artist with Evergreen who oversaw the delicate gilding work. She prepared the surface carefully before applying the gold, a complicated process because of constant changes in climate and the sun's interference with the drying process. Likely also a very expensive process, but since the church has billions, why not? The article goes on to say, scaffolding has been removed from the large assembly room on the 5th floor of the Salt Lake Temple. Finish work is now underway. The assembly room, designed for large gatherings and special meetings, is where church leaders come together for counsel and instruction. I did not know that the Salt Lake Temple had a large assembly room inside. When I was on Temple Square recently, though, I saw it in a replica of the temple. Back to the article. In the new ceiling wing addition connected to the temple's north wall, significant work is underway. This work included chandeliers that have been installed in the addition's ceiling rooms. Altars are in the process of being gilded, while stonework and window trim are also being placed. This north wing will accommodate 12 additional ceiling rooms, increasing the capacity of the historic temple from 13 to 22 ceiling rooms. It is no wonder why these renovations are costing way more than the church expected and rumored to be in the billions of dollars. Now let's look at this amazing image of the back of a vehicle in Utah. Their license plate says Rock Hat, referring to the fact that Joseph Smith used a rock in a hat to write the Book of Mormon. The cover to the license plate says Dum 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 Dum, referring to the South Park episode about the Mormons. And then, to top it all off, they have a bumper sticker that says, I'm also fluent in Reformed Egyptian. Not familiar with what Reformed Egyptian is? Well, Wikipedia says the Book of Mormon, a work of scripture of the Latter-day Saint movement, is described by both itself and Joseph Smith, the founder of the movement, as having originally been written in the Reformed Egyptian characters. Scholarly reference works on languages do not acknowledge the existence of either a Reformed Egyptian language or Reformed Egyptian script as it was described by Joseph Smith. There is no archaeological, linguistic, or other evidence of the use of Egyptian writing in the ancient Americas. Just another nail in the coffin of the Book of Mormon's truth claims. And last up today, let's go to this great quote that says, it's still wild to me that the boomers really went all in on the idea that if your kid isn't acting the way you want, the problem is that you just weren't mean enough, and the solution is just to keep getting meaner. And that's your update for today, folks. I absolutely hope you have the day that you deserve.